Did I say it right this month?
Yes.
Okay. Can you hear me now? Sean Riss, 53 Lancaster Road. I'm one of the naysayers. I'm not a naysayer for Bristol. I'm just a naysayer for having to pay for a plan that I'm not a part of and I'm not a beneficiary of. Everybody here, I think, believes in Bristol. We're willing to support the businesses, whether Renaissance stays or they leave. If Renaissance wants to build something, I think they should build what they promised to build, a piazza, not a housing complex. If people don't support the plan that's changed, I don't think that people that are beneficiaries should turn on those people and throw them under the busway. All right, Renaissance came in here and they made a promise. They gave us a developer agreement. They're not asking for an extension of that. They're asking to modify that. They're changing the long-term plan. They want to build housing right now. They want $6 million to do it. This is not part of the agreement they originally came to. They say they're not magicians, but they come into our community, they say they're going to build Smartgrowth, and they're going to do it with private capital. I've never heard of such a thing in my entire life. I urge everybody to research it. If you can find somebody that built Smartgrowth without a subsidy, please send it to me by email, post it on Facebook, but hashtag it BristolCT. But anyway, Renaissance came in and they're doing other things here in Bristol besides building and besides promoting. And Bristol Rising, you're doing a great job, but Renaissance didn't give you what you already have. Renaissance is the Wizard of Oz in that respect. You already have your heart, you have your courage, and you hold on to that while that balloon soars up into the air. Don't be upset if it didn't work out, because we're here to support your businesses. But they also came in to create a sense of connectivity and create green, sustainable, transit-oriented development and a critical mass of potential riders to support transit and downtown components. This is the part that's been hidden on the developer's website. We don't talk about that, though. We talk about vibrancy, and we don't talk about density either. But Renaissance isn't the one that's bringing density to the downtown. It's the state of Connecticut. And there's something on the agenda tonight to approve $67,000 for somebody to draft a plan for our downtown to concentrate development along transit corridors, to expand housing opportunities and design choices to accommodate a variety of household transportation needs, to conserve the natural environment. Nobody has a problem with that, but I mean, you're talking about transportation nodes, you're talking about creating density here in the downtown. So whether Renaissance builds housing in there or whatever, if we continue in this direction towards density, that means more people living in the downtown in apartments. I don't think that's the direction that people in Bristol want to go from the reaction from the housing change to the plan. So I think for the City Council and the Mayor to not have mud on their face in this respect, we're going to have to reassess what we're actually doing with the downtown. Thank you for your time.
Thank you, Sean.
Mayor?
Yes.
While Sean is still here and the rest of the audience, do you think we should maybe clarify the agenda item for the plan of conservation and development?
We'll do what we have to.
In case people leave it, I think he made a salient point, but this is not connected to downtown development. It's our normal plan of development that needs to be updated. It hasn't been updated because of the things that have been happening. Other than the West End study and the Route 72 corridor study, which are amendments, the city is mandated to do a plan of development. It is not solely for downtown.
But it will concentrate transit.
There will be a transit chapter.
We'll discuss this when we get there. Steve Cohen.
Steve Cohen, 331 Main Street. Good evening, Council, Mayor. Next time you're going to have a big city meeting, don't worry about calling the police. You just tell them, I'm coming, I may speak or I may sing. Nobody will come. Councilwoman Zappo, you're late on report. I told my wife, Amy, and my daughter, Stephanie, I was coming to the City Council meeting tonight. They said, we don't care as long as you leave the house. Yes. Anyway, I want to thank all of you council members and mayor for your support last month in appointing me to the Historic District Commission as an alternate. I appreciate that. I appreciate your support. They have only had one meeting this year, so hopefully they will have a meeting in June. They have only had one meeting out of the 5. So hopefully they can have a meeting in June. The other thing I want to talk about is Renaissance. Now, when I moved to Main Street almost 20 years ago, one of the problems I could see right away was we had too much high-density housing. And I have worked very hard for 20 years to get rid of high-density housing. And then I find out, and this is why I have soured against Renaissance, because I was one of their earliest supporters, and I wanted them to succeed, and I wanted them here. But I don't feel that way anymore. They went to the planning office, and sat down with the city planner without any input from the public, and they sat down and they made changes to the BT overlay zone. Now, my house sits in the BT overlay zone, and so do a lot of other historic houses on Federal Hill and downtown and the West End. And this was a bad zone to begin with. It allowed all kinds of bad things. And they went and sat down with the city planner and his assistant, and they made these changes. And nobody knew about this. I didn't know about this. And I thought I knew everything about what was going on in Federal Hill, but I didn't know. And I found out. So that's why I have soured against Renaissance. And if they want to make amends with me and make amends with Federal Hill, they need to address that. Again, and one last thing, I know my time's up. I commend your efforts on blight, really I do. I can't stress that enough. Do we know what's going on with 22 High Street? If anything. I don't care, it can sit there empty, I really don't care.
I will talk to you tomorrow.
Okay. Great, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Call my office.
I will.